welcome back to the channel. This is actually going to start a new series for me called Project Recomp. What the series is going to be about is basically seeing if you can lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, whether it be at a slow rate or not, just whether it's actually possible over an extended period of time. I see that it gets debated quite a lot in the fitness industry. There's a lot of fake gimmicks and stuff out there that say that it's easy, that it's possible, whatever. I believe with the right training and diet, it can be possible to an extent. I believe most of the time you do want to try and kind of focus on one goal at a time, whether it be muscle gain or fat loss. But with my training at the moment, I'm going to try and just do sort of an experiment. If I fail, I fail, but I'm going to give it a shot. Basically over the next, say, 4 to 5 months, I'm going to start tracking my macros again. I'm going to train a little bit differently, add in some things here and there to see if I can sort of stay around the same body weight but get a bit leaner. That's basically the goal. Primarily also gaining strength along the way. But anyway, I'm going to weigh myself now, so I'll show you guys what I'm weighing in at the moment. So I'm sitting just above 95 at the moment. Yeah, I haven't actually been this heavy in a while. I'll show you guys a physique update quickly. So abs are pretty much gone. The shape's still there a little bit, but as you can see, I'm pretty fluffy around the edges. A little bit bigger, but yeah, we just want to kind of get that like athletic look back, I guess you could say. Yeah, I'll just show you guys basically everything I do along the way, give you some tips and pointers along the way like I usually do. So yeah, to start off the day today, I've already made a coffee. Just gonna have that, and then yeah, I'll probably just have the coffee and then go do some sprints or some HIIT cardio. Just stands for high intensity interval training. I just do sprints. Yeah, I probably won't be able to film that for you guys just because the last time I did it was kind of hard, and I haven't actually done sprints in a while, so it's going to be pretty hard for me regardless. But all I'm going to do is basically jog down to the park, do some warm up, just kind of warm up all my legs and stuff, and then work up to 100% sprint, still warming up obviously, then do 100 meter sprint at roughly 100%, then just walk back for the recovery. For the first few, you'll probably be fully recovered by the time you walk back. It'll start getting hard when you get around 4 or 5 mark. I'm gonna do 10 sets of that, so 10 lots of 100 meter sprint and then walk back, and that'll be my cardio for the day. So I'm gonna have this coffee, do a little bit of reading, and then get that done, and then I'll catch up with you guys probably for my pre-workout meal. So I just got done finishing my sprints. It was actually harder than I thought, probably because I'm sitting at 95 kilos at the moment, so I can't really expect to feel light, but just gonna have my first meal, which is just gonna be some 300 grams of Chobani's 0.5% fat Greek yogurt, 100 grams of frozen blueberries, and 30 grams of all bran. It is exactly those amounts as well. I actually weighed them out. I'm gonna just start doing that probably once a week, just so I can kind of see what it should look like at that weight, just so I can estimate it a bit better later on in the week. I don't think I need to be weighing every single meal out right now, just because it's not essential. It can also get kind of annoying having to weigh everything out every single day. I don't know, unless it's for a competition or something, I wouldn't bother with that. But yeah, I have tracked this already, along with the coffee I had earlier, plus the fish oil, as you can see there. And then my totals at the moment, 35 protein, 48 carb, 9 fiber, and 5 fat. So still got plenty of calories for the day. I've got my goals set at 3,200 at the moment, but that'll probably change throughout the week depending on how my weights go. But yeah. So yeah, I'll get this down and then I'll probably catch up with you guys for another little snack before I go to the gym. So yeah, I'll talk to you then. So I'm just getting ready to go to the gym. I'm just going to have one of these performance protein bars. They're actually vegan. I just found it in the cupboard. My brother buys all these different bars and stuff. This brand is Garden of Life Sport. But anyway, it's sea salt caramel flavour. 8 grams of fat, 20 protein, 31 carb with 7 fiber. So gonna have that plus just a small apple. And I'm going to have one of these caffeine tablets. It's just 200 milligrams of caffeine just because I'm out of Monsters at the moment. And I've already had a coffee today. So this is probably one of the most cost-effective supplements you can get. This bottle was like $5 and it's 100 tablets at 200 milligrams each. If you have 2 of these pre-workout, you'll be having a good workout. So yeah, got legs today. Probably just do some high bar squats and some stiff leg deadlifts. But yeah, I'll catch up with you guys in the gym. I'm going to do another voiceover just to talk about some of my training and stuff. It's just a lot easier for me to talk to you guys while I'm working out instead of doing it after. It just makes the videos a bit shorter. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys when I'm in there.
Struggling my mama on the last dollar. Hustling, man, I've been putting in these hours. The government been trying to take away with sours. Really all about the money and the power. I just want to see my people live proud.
So, to start off with for the legs, I started off with pause squats, worked up to 120. By the way, I keep repeating this, but I always do a pretty big warm-up before I jump into these working sets. I don't always show it on video just because it's a bit repetitive, but especially for leg days, my warm-ups take around 30 to 45 minutes. I go through foam rolling, dynamic stretching, and then a couple of extra hip opening movements just because I get really tight hips. But yeah, basically here we're just focusing on keeping nice and tight throughout the whole lift, pausing for a second or two at the bottom and then exploding up as quick as possible. My bar path here kind of looks, basically your bar path is just where the barbell moves through. It should basically be in line with your midfoot the entire movement. So it should be going in a straight line up and down. That's going to be the most efficient way. It's the same for every movement, just about, or in terms of the compound movements anyway. It's a bit different if you're trying to contract a muscle a certain way, but in terms of strength and being the most efficient, the bar path's always going to be straight up and down over your center of gravity, or in this case over your midfoot. So yeah, I did 3 sets of 5 with 120 kilos. In this phase of training, when trying to recomp, I basically just need to focus on progressing in the gym, nice and slow. You don't want to try and overdo it, or you'll actually burn out, potentially overtrain, and then you'll just hurt your progress. You can potentially start losing muscle, or potentially even get injured. So yeah, just moved on to stiff leg deadlifts. Again, worked up to 120 kilos. Did 2 sets of 8. My lower back actually felt a bit off here. I don't know whether it was, by the looks of the video, like my form could have been a bit better. Don't worry too much about if your upper back rounds a bit. That's not really the issue. It's more your lower back needs to just be neutral or straight. So yeah, I've always had a problem with tight hamstrings and tight hips. Even my whole posterior chain is normally pretty tight. But I've been working on it over time, so my form will generally get better. I only did 2 sets of 8 here because yeah, my lower back was starting to get a bit aggravated, so I just moved on to the reverse leg curls after. But yeah, back to the recomp. Basically just trying to progress nice and slow. The only way you're going to be able to even remotely
get stronger and lose fat at the same time is if you take it nice and slow. The slower you take any sort of, like a cut, for example, if you take it nice and slow, you'll retain more muscle. Whereas on the other hand, if you take a bulk or a lean gain phase slower, you'll gain less fat along the way. Yeah, so just because gaining muscle is a slow process in itself, you can lose fat quickly, but you will probably lose some muscle mass as well, which you don't want, because it's a lot harder to gain muscle than it is to lose fat. Takes much longer, especially when you're further into training. So that goes back to what I was going to get to. In terms of the recomp, I wouldn't actually recommend this for many people. There is a few that it would be beneficial for, say, if you're just getting into training. It's a good idea. In that case, though, I'd probably recommend sitting right at your maintenance or just over your maintenance, just because you'll use the calories a bit better. Because I've been training for so long, it just suits me a bit better to sit just under my maintenance, because that way it's still possible for me to gain strength, but I should be losing fat along the way. So just moved into walking lunges. Just I'm a little bit wonky on this. I think I need to practice it a bit more. My stabilizers just probably weren't firing properly, but I like this movement because I get a nice stretch in my hips. It's more of a like dynamic stretch. Just had the 25 kilo barbell. Just did 10 reps each leg, so 10 up then 10 back. Then moved on to alternating lying leg curl. I'd switch between alternating and single leg. The difference would just be just changing legs each rep, or doing one leg all the reps, then moving on to the other leg. I just kind of alternate between them because they give a different sort of a contraction. And I do try and flex my foot down, or like point my toe down, because that'll actually disengage your calf from being in the movement, or your gastrocnemius from being in the movement. But you will be able to sort of push more weight if your toes are pointed up, or your dorsiflexed, just because your gastroc will be in the movement slightly. So I kind of just do as many reps as I can with my toes pointed, and then do the rest of them with my toes up, or even just half sometimes. It just depends. Again, I like changing these sort of variables over just because they give different kind of contractions. You also note on these, on all the accessory movements, I tend to speed it up on the video just because it just makes the video a little bit shorter. I normally times it by like 1.4. So if you ever notice a little change in the speed, that's why. I normally try to keep the compound movements at the actual speed, just because it helps with technique a bit better to see exactly how it should look, or when I'm doing it, just to get a good example. Moved on to calves last. The only reason I do calves last is because it takes less of your central nervous system, because normally the movements are like, you're moving less of your body through a plane of motion, I guess. Stuff like the deadlift and the squat take up a lot more. Or they fatigue you a lot more, basically, so it's just easier to... But, because people leave calves to the end, they tend to neglect them. So you just got to remember to not neglect anything, even on your last set of your entire workout. It's got to be as good as your first set. Just did 3 sets on the seated calf raise, and 3 sets on the single calf raise and the leg press machine. Make sure you hit one unilateral movement for your calves, at least every now and then, just because they can tend to be imbalanced. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. That's it for the workout. Catch up with you guys in a sec. So after the gym, I just had 2 scoops of whey isolate. Now for dinner, I've got a bread roll with some butter and this beef madras curry with basmati rice, 250 grams of rice, and I eyeballed about 2.5 cups of, we'll go 3 cups of the curry. So we'll get that down, and then I'll catch up with you guys. So my last meal for tonight will be this turkey ham and cheese roll. I've actually tracked it already on my Fitness Pal. See the stone baked pane di casa, I think that's how you say it. One slice of cheese, some cranberry sauce, 115 grams of turkey breast roughly, and 30 grams of ham roughly. So that'll bring me to just under 2,900 calories for the day. 209 protein, 329 carb with 35 fiber, and 74 fat. So under my fat, which is what we want, just under carbs, and slightly over protein. So the aim is to try and I'm having a Pepsi Max as well. So I'm gonna aim to try and hit like under my fat slightly each day. Slightly under my calories, because that'll create a deficit just because I've set it to what my maintenance should be, or my estimated maintenance. So we're going to just try and sit slightly under maintenance for the most part. There will be some higher days in there. But yeah, this will give you guys a good intro into what I'm going to be going into in the next phase of training. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.